friends. My name is Joanne, and I am one of the educators at the Ecotarium, a museum of science and nature in Worcester, Massachusetts. Now, this is our Make It Monday edition, and today on Make It Monday, we're going to do something pretty cool. First of all, anybody know what this is, what I am holding in my hand right here? Right, that's a battery. And you may have these around your house. And this one happens to be a AA rechargeable battery. And what do you use batteries for? Yeah, you might use them to light up light bulbs. You might use them to run a toy. And you might also have one in your cell phone or even in your laptop or your tablet that you're watching this video on. But batteries come in all sorts of sizes and shapes, including little button-sized batteries like the one I have here. And if you look at any normal battery, it is usually going to have a plus sign on one end, and sometimes it has a minus sign at the other end. But what is a battery really? So a battery is stored chemical energy, and we use batteries to take chemical energy and turn it into electrical energy. But how do we do that? Well, in order to do that, you need to connect the positive end of the battery to the negative end of the battery. And in the case of this little button battery, I'm going to do that using an LED. And so I put one end of the LED on one side of the battery, and I put the other end of the LED on the other side of the battery, and check that out. We've just lit up a bulb using a battery. Now, how does that work? Well, inside each battery are two different kinds of metals. There is usually a zinc type of metal and also a copper type of metal. And in between is a catalyst. And the catalyst is a substance, sometimes we think of it as battery acid, but that substance helps to move electrons from one metal to the next. So that means they get to move from one end of the battery to the other. And today, we are going to make a battery using some things that you may have around the house. The first thing you're going to need is a galvanized nail. And you can find this at a hardware store, or you may have this at your house anyway. Another thing you're going to need is a penny. And when you find your penny, make sure it was made before 1980, because the penny made before 1980 has lots of copper in it. The galvanized nail, that's what has the zinc in it. If you can't find a penny made before 1980, you may actually have some plain old copper wire laying around the house, which is also totally fine to use. The next thing you're going to need is a multimeter. And this multimeter here will tell us how much electricity our battery is making move. So just to make a point, we can't actually make electricity. Electricity is the movement of electrons, which are really small. We can't see them, but trust me, they're there. They're part of something called atoms, which are super, super tiny, but atoms make up everything. So electricity is the movement of those electrons. The last thing that we're going to need is a potato. We are going to make a battery out of a potato. Isn't that crazy? All right, let's see how this works. All right, so first of all, you're going to take your galvanized nail and you're going to put it into one end of the potato. And then you're going to take your copper penny, remember pre-1980, or your piece of copper wire, and put it in the other side of the potato. Make sure that's nice and tight. And then, so there's your potato with the galvanized nail and the copper penny. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on this multimeter so that it reads voltage. And voltage is just the amount of push that something has in order to make electrons move. So, going back to our button battery example right here, when I put the LED on the button battery, the electrons were moving from one side of the battery through the LED, lighting it up, and then into the other side. And these batteries all have a little rating on them that tells you how many volts they are, which is how much push that battery has to get things moving. So you can see here that my multimeter reads 0. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook it up to our potato. I'm going to hook up one side to the penny, and I'm going to hook up the other side to that nail. And now we have gone from 0 to about 93 volts, between 93 and 97, which is pretty cool. So what happens if I take off, if I remove one of these leads, which is just the alligator clip at the end, then our voltage goes down to nothing, which means we're not changing any of this chemical energy from this battery into electrical energy. But here we go, we'll turn it on again. And there we go, we're back up to about 93 volts. Pretty amazing. Now, I have tried to light up an LED with this potato, but unfortunately, an LED needs about 1.5 volts to actually light up. And our potato here only produces just under 1 volt. So that, unfortunately, is not going to work out for us. Now, if you'd like to be a scientist, go ahead and do some experimenting. See what happens if you connect some potatoes together. Can you get more voltage out of it? You might want to try different kinds of vegetables. Will sweet potatoes give you more volts than my regular Idaho potato here? What about lemons and limes? People make batteries out of all sorts of fruits and vegetables. I have seen a lemon clock, and I have certainly seen a potato clock before. But either way, I suggest that you go do some experimenting. And of course, ask the people in charge of you first. Ask your folks first so that you can be safe. And join me next time when we have another Make It Monday.